This is the Party Poker Premier League Poker 4, and for the first time, we're stateside in the home of poker, Las Vegas. We're coming closer to finding an online qualifier to make the final lineup in the biggest season of Premier League yet.
I really want to just kind of show the poker world and show the whole world who I am and what I do.
You've declared war, I've accepted your terms.
We're gonna fucking dance.
I'm not one to sit on my laurels and say, okay, you know, I'm one of the best players. No, I don't buy that.
It's all about the points, baby.
It's fucking good, and that's what I'm talking about.
Eat some of that.
You guys are in trouble now.
I've contributed a lot, but until you actually win one, then you're not a champion.
The Premier League, this is big.
This will be sick. No. So sick.
Look how much fun that is.
I'm excited, really excited to come back and defend my title.
I like the feeling, especially in a tough field like this, to come out on top. That's really what it's all about.
You just got so pwned, it's a joke. Wow, I love it.
I definitely think I'm one of the strong favourites. I think you should put your money on me.
Yeah, baby, that's it. Yeah! Yeah!
Before the main event begins, 16 online qualifiers take their seats in a bid to win a place in the Premier League. It's the opportunity of a lifetime and a chance to play alongside some of poker's greatest stars. We have two groups of 8 online qualifiers ready to battle it out. Last time, Group 1 was here in the spotlight, and now Group 2 take to the TV feature table. In the poker room at the M, Group 1 will play their second league match. All 16 players are accumulating points to reach the final table where the winner will take their seat in the Premier League. Plus 6 Party Poker pros battle it out for a spot in the main event, including Poker Hall of Famer Mike Sexton, previous Premier League finalist Ian Fraser, and the leader of the European rankings, Dragon Gallage. As the action in the poker room begins, we join your hosts for this evening, Jesse May and Isaac Haxton.
It's the last chance for online qualifiers to get points to make the final table. Group 2 on the feature table tonight. Look at the seating. Giovanni Rizzo got maximum points last time out. Scott Green and Wellenbach doing okay, but it's the Danes who have their work cut out for them at the bottom of the table. The possibilities are endless, and Isaac, the answer to almost any question about where these players have to finish is it depends.
That's right. Nothing is really set in stone after the first heat. We know that Giovanni Rizzo, who won it, is in very good shape coming in, and Marten Haferkorn, who came in last, will really need to win to have any chance of advancing. But beyond that, a lot of different things could happen.
6,000.
Oh, you gotta love this call by Haferkorn. Smooth calling from the button with the kings, trying to win himself a big pot.
Yeah, and that's the right thing for him to be doing here.
He was first out in the first match, and anything but an ace, even something like this, you gotta feel like he's willing to stack off here, right?
Yeah, probably so. Though we don't know what he saw from Rizzo in the first match, but if the early going here is any indication,
Rizzo was pretty fast.
Yeah. I think Haferkorn's plan might be to just call every street.
That's a scare card, and that's a very scary card.
It is.
And what does Haferkorn have to think here? Does he have to think that if he calls now, does he have to call on the river? Is it a call to reevaluate?
It depends a lot on what he saw from Rizzo in the first heat. And apparently, it was nothing too out of line to have him thinking very long right there.
Oh, what a tough hand to lay down for Marten Haferkorn. He made it look like it wasn't much of a decision at all. We found Roland de Wolfe, of all places, stocking up on snacks.
Hello everyone, this is Gloria Balding, and I found Roland de Wolfe in baby cakes. So Roland, you have played all 4 Premier Leagues. How excited are you for this one?
I'm very excited. I said that I'm going to have a cake now for each time I played the Premier League. So you thought I've had 4 cakes, but I'm having 1 cake for each heat that I've played. So I'm having about 24.
The last time you won a 10K, I think Ronald Reagan was in the White House.
One of these days, you're going to work really hard, you're going to win another 2 or 3 bracelets, and you're going to be like a middleweight. I'm still going to be a heavyweight, and I'm still just going to go boom.
We're both heavyweights in our own way.
So being that you are a Triple Crown winner, what would it mean to add a Premier League title to that?
It would be really cool to get a Premier League title to add to all those things that I've won already, because after the triple, what do you go for? The quadruple. And you know, after that, I don't even know. So this could be the final frontier, and it'll be the icing on the cake, the quadruple crown. I don't know if I could even fit that on my little head.
How do we still get invited to these shows doing the same stuff every time?
It's okay, boys. It's nothing to be scared of.
Oh.
Well, thank you so much, Roland. Be sure to catch Roland here at the Premier League.
A look back to season 2 when Roland de Wolfe played one of Premier League poker's most memorable hands against Ian Fraser.
Cool.
You know, here's where he's gotten himself in trouble.
14,000
Roland?
Roland de Wolfe has gotten himself in trouble by, you know, raising with the 5 deuce to 6 deuce, and it costs him some money each time. So let's see if Fraser can figure it out.
Cool.
Well, he knows now he's in bad shape.
He's
and
in
there's
terrible
an ace.
shape.
Wow.
Roland's in such bad shape that he's going to have to make a massive
Now,
bluff.
Ian Fraser is clever enough to check this for sure. Nice check. Let Roland bluff off another.
I've played this game before. No, it's bad, huh?
So there goes Roland for no reason with 6 deuce from the big blind. Could have taken a free flop. Instead bluffed off 12,000 and now 18 more thousand. You know, trying to push the envelope. That's the old. That's what they want. They want the old. They want the old Roland back. You know, and he's basically just handed the chip lead to.
Cool.
And this feels like one of those times where, I mean, can Fraser check this 3 times and let Roland just speed off the stack?
I don't think he can. Wow, what a card for Fraser.
20,000.
Ian Fraser fired right out at it this time, so. And Roland, wow. I mean, I'm surprised he called there. He made a good call because if a heart comes, he does win. If a 3 comes, he does win.
What does he put Fraser on right now?
Oh, maybe a king. I mean, the other thing is he might try to take it away from him, right? So if Fraser could have checked there.
All in.
20,000 raised all in.
Oh my gosh.
And Roland has just cut his own throat. He's played so beautifully, but it's like the Mike Mattisau blow up. Now, he might get away with it, but he would never in a million years have tried it if he knew Fraser had aces and 4s.
I can't put you on an end while you'd call me on a turn, Roland. I can't, for the life of me, think what you could have.
Well, and I don't blame him because he has a 6 and a deuce. This is probably the most entertaining hand that I've seen in a while.
The only thing I can put you on is Queen 10 of hearts or something, Queen Jack of hearts. That's the only thing I can get you. Can't put you on any other end. There you go.
Oh my gosh, he's passed!
Did you see Roland close his
Oh
eyes?
no, he showed him!
Wow!
Oh no.
And Roland blew up and got away
Couldn't
with
put you
it.
on anything
So,
else.
you know, but you gotta say,
Rather miles in front or miles
the
behind.
guy has some
It's not a
guts.
good call if you call.
Huh?
You should never call.
The early action has seen Rizzo involved in the majority of pots, probably picking up where he left off
Fold.
in the first match. I've not seen Miguel Proulx move a chip yet.
Fold. Fold.
That's horrible, this house. It says there's no way you can.
Raise
Here,
to
maybe a
6,000.
little bit. Did you scoop it up from here?
Fold.
Whew, now. You're not folding these 8s, are you?
No.
Fold 6,000.
Is this a sort of a set mining call? Is it
right.
looking at the flop kind of call?
I don't think it's set mining. I think that you get to continue with your pocket 8s even when you don't flop a set pretty often.
This sort of board, for instance?
Yeah,
Check.
Check folding this sort of board would be a little too tight for you?
I think so. I don't like a fold here.
7,000.
The good news for Green is he's got a few thousand more than he started with. He can certainly afford this. Will the turn get tricky? And What are Gary Toe's intentions here?
Gary picks up a gut shot here.
14.
That is 14,000.
What kind of line is this that Scott Green's taken? We've seen lines like this before with top pair, right?
Yeah, I think it's a similar idea here. He is worried about letting a hand like the one Gary has get a free card, because Gary wins on an ace, a queen, or a 5. That's a big draw, really. And Green protects against that by leading out.
And yet opens himself up to getting blown off.
He could get rebluffed, but the thing about it is that since a draw that Green could reasonably have, the 5-6, or ace-5 for that matter, gets there on the turn, when he leads, his opponent has to be worried he might have a hand like that, and that'll discourage him from bluffing. So the 8s are sort of protected by the possibility that he could have a straight also.
I had a hunch. It was terribly wrong.
It felt like a very loose table the first couple hands. Now it seems like these guys are
settling in a little.
Yeah.
Fold.
Well, for my first live heads-up play, I didn't do too
And with that,
Right.
Mr. Pongratz will prove us wrong.
And this is an opinionated sort of raise, right? Of the opinion that he needs to gamble.
I guess so. Or that he's going to take down the blinds a lot.
Fold. Fold. Fold.
Well, with the min raise, you often get action, and that's exactly what Fabian has got himself 3 ways here.
And he's
Check.
80% of the way to a flush.
About as happy as you can be right now, right?
Yeah, I mean that's pretty much what you're looking for when you raise queen 3 suited from early position. Nice dry flop where you pick up a flush draw.
Call. Fold.
Continues for a very small bet, and Green will float him in position with a couple of overs.
Very small bet, really. And this has gone completely backwards now.
Yeah, that's not at all what Pongratz wants on the turn. Though it looks like a good card for him. It's a good card for him to continue a bluff because it doesn't hit Green that often.
Call.
Calling almost always better than raising here for Green?
It depends what you think Pongratz has. If he has enough experience with him to know that there are a lot of things like this possible, then maybe raising is best.
What a card on the river!
Green fills up and Pongratz makes the flush. I think he's going to call here.
Yeah, it's 12,000 is
yeah.
pretty automatic. I mean, Green trying to get called by an ace, I guess. That's the bet size, right?
I guess so, or a jack, or a small pair, whatever he thinks Pongratz has.
Flush. We have full.
King.
You would have bet that if you were Pongratz on the river, wouldn't you have?
Yeah, I think he has a pretty easy value bet there. I think you can bet big.
Caution, the better part of valor there.
Green is off to a big lead here. He's in a very good position to take it easy for a little while.
All action in the poker room. In the onliners match, we've just seen our 4th player drop out, Gary Bigger, and it's Talal Shakirchi with the chips. He won the first match in Group 1 and is now guaranteed a place on the final table. The rest have to play it out till the end to see their final standings. And on the Party Poker Pros table, 3-handed with Mike Sexton, Remy Michel, and Felipe Ramos still in action. We'll be back for more from Las Vegas, where onliners and party pros fight for a chance to join Premier League's elite.
10 of the best players in the world are heading to Las Vegas to take down the ultimate title, Premier League champion. But there are still 2 spaces left in the final lineup up for grabs. The first will go to one of 6 Party Poker pros who are battling it out amongst their teammates. The other will go to one of 16 online qualifiers who are in the middle of the greatest poker opportunity ever.
I mean, you guys keep talking about the one hand. That's inevitable.
Well, it didn't matter.
For 2-3 hours, kill you all, and now it's all about that one hand.
I say regularly, you completely outplayed me. Heads up. I've said that to you many times.
I fold.
Fold.
I don't know.
Fold.
Whoop.
Oh. It's kind of funny because when we ask you,
Suddenly this game, actually, the pace of it really picking up, guys making quick decisions.
you know?
It's almost like they've all realized that the blinds are going to be going up pretty quick and they're trying to get as many hands in as possible.
Comes and the hand is over.
Yeah, that jump from 2-4 to 3-6 feels pretty big.
Wait till it goes 5-10.
We'll know after.
That's cool. Option.
I think we're talking
And
about
interesting limp here from Keitel.
First heat, which wasn't.
He may have limped a trap, and he may trap himself.
I mean, with 2 hands this strong, small to big, it almost seems like any way that either person decides to play it, the chips are going to go in pre-flop most of the time.
Keitel,
raise,
only having 2 points to start this out with, certainly not worried about moving up the ladder.
No, he needs a win, and proulx maybe doesn't need a win, but he needs top 2 or 3 spots anyhow.
Not blaming Keitel for shoving here, right? It
No,
seems like the right play most of the time, right?
It would be crazy to do anything else, in my opinion.
Because the only argument otherwise is if he considers proulx as tight as we were talking about before. Would proulx make a move here without a big hand?
There's tight, and then there's tight enough that you're getting away from ace-9 suited small to big for 12 big blinds, and
that's tight.
That's really tight.
Cool.
And the problem with this call is that he's going to be out of position on awkward flops, right?
Yeah, now there's 36 in the middle. He's got 55 behind. What's he going to do?
Check a bet.
He might just move in here.
Check.
Miguel seems really, he's torn, and I'll tell you what, I think he's feeling a lot of pressure right now.
He needs to bet.
20,000.
And he needs to not fold if he gets shoved on here.
Keitel's got 55 behind, so if he does shove, there is a real expectation that he can get proulx off some hands. Boy, these guys, if they weren't closer, there'd be a tea party here. They're really studying each other's countenance. They're nearly touching shoulders. I think Keitel's getting ready to fold.
Yeah?
Fold.
It's in many ways a pretty big laydown.
You can breathe again.
Yeah. It certainly was. Especially considering he looks like he should be wanting to gamble.
Yeah.
There might be some history there from the first match about how Miguel plays the blinds and plays post flop.
Yeah.
You know, Keitel might have told himself that Miguel's not betting without thinking he's got the best hand post flop.
Yeah.
Please. Raise.
Really, this is the kind of stuff that haferkorn needs to have happen if he wants to get through. He needs to get some raising cards. He needs to follow it up with hitting some flops.
Yeah.
It's obviously a tough combination, but stranger things have happened.
Fold.
He's getting some pretty big folds. I don't think he's going to get a fold quite that big.
Uh-oh. And if Keitel goes all in here, which you'd expect, it's hard to see haferkorn letting these go. Really impossible.
I don't think he should.
Frederick's looks a little spaced out. I wonder if this is for effect. Is there a play besides all in? Haferkorn doesn't seem, it seems like the kind of guy that's going to be easier to get the chips in against pre-flop than post-flop if he misses.
I really think that by far the best play here is for Keitel to put the chips in.
All in on 2.
Do or die time for Haferkorn.
Being pretty fully 2-to-1 here. It's pretty hard to make the fold.
Of course, when he sees Keitel's cards, he's going to feel like he should have folded, but it's not true. Just, I think the enormity of it all, the $100,000 package and being in this state is got Haferkorn thinking about some other things. But he'll be, he's going to call, he's going to gamble. And you know what? The king-queen suited does beat the kings sometimes.
It does. Not very much.
No, not very often. And for Haferkorn, he's not even going to look at the flop. He'll wait for the cheers. Well, maybe he'll have a little look. His girlfriend there.
That's not a very good flop. He'll need running queens or running 10-jack.
What's your chance of a split?
7-6
6, 7, 6, right. Well, a lot of things conspired against him. There are 3 outs.
We'll need a non-spade 7.
Nice playing with you. Let's get an envelope. There's a 7. There's a 7 left. Oh.
We're not
no
down.
7, no spades, though.
Sometimes. No, this is over now.
Sorry. A little premature.
Can we just check the chips? Sure. You can push the chips.
Just playing with you.
Marten Haferkorn officially out of this Premier League. And you can see it meant a lot to him. And the big news for Keitel, back in it. Guaranteed to have 4. Interesting, with Haferkorn going out first both times, it's almost like nothing changes. Over in the poker room, Felipe Ramos won in the first pro heat. This time he's out in third, given 27 points, leaving an important fight out between Sexton and Michel.
We've just lost Felipe out of the PartyPoker's pro match, but you won your first matchup, so that means no matter what happens here, you are in the lead for points right now. That must be pretty good.
Yeah, this is good. This means I have the advantage for the next match. I hope to do a good job in the next one, because this one was really tough for me. And I guess I played better than the first one. I had so many spots that were really difficult, and my decisions were correct. So I'm really glad the way I played, and so I'm playing good. Can't wait to the next match.
Over in the Onliners Group 1 match, it's not good news for Kai Schuyler. Knocked out in 4th, just short of the points he needed to make the top 4. Back over on the feature table, Isaac and I watching the other flight of qualifiers. Jockey for points.
At least you know it.
Yeah, that's a huge step forward.
Scott Green, the chip leader, and also with 8 points already, guaranteed 10, and very likely to up that to 12 or 14.
All in.
I'm sorry, sir.
All in.
All in.
Gary Toe, all in with a pair.
All in on 6.
Wellenbach should have a very easy call for 4.5 big blinds here with Queen Jack.
44,000 total.
Very easy. Just the combination of his cards and the amount of the bet.
Cool.
Yeah.
Hey, turn him up, gentlemen.
And he's thought the same way. Big spot for Toe.
Race.
8 points currently if he gets knocked out here. The double up,
Good luck, guys.
vital. Because 8 points ain't going to make it. No queen, no jack.
The board pairing over him is not that great either. A 7 is also an out for Wellenbach here.
7, More else.
I gotta see a queen and a jack and a 7.
Even more.
That's exactly the sort of card Toe wants to see.
But not another one.
3, 7.
Big river.
He fades it, Toe doubles up.
44,000, 34,000.
And this, I think, so up to about 90,000.
Yeah, really everybody awfully close here.
I think he lost the first pot he played, Gary Toe. This is the closest he's been to the starting stack since then.
I believe so.
Harris caught up with another man making his Premier League debut. He's a big name on campus.
I've managed to catch up with David Benyamine, one of our new Premier League players, to talk a little bit about the structure. You're known best for being a high-stakes cash game player, but obviously play tournaments as well. So going into this, how are you approaching it?
I approach it as I approach every day of playing poker, meaning trying to just be focused in what I'm going to be doing and get my marks down.
At least you put your money where your mouth was. I don't know if you realize, but I just created excitement in your life. You have the eye of the panda.
Obviously, you've played with some of these guys before, but some of them will be new to you as well, a little bit more European, maybe some of the younger guys coming in. Do you know much about the players?
No, I mean, some of them I don't know, and this is where it's the good challenge about trying to be a good poker player and trying to learn really quickly what they're going to be able to do.
You're having your TV time, you're very smiley today. You don't even need makeup, such a baby face. That's pretty cute.
Well, hopefully you find some good luck in your first match. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Who is going to be walking out of here regretting lost opportunities the most, or missed opportunities?
Super friendly.
Well, I'm sure proulx is not going to be happy about his pocket tens fold when he sees what Pongratz had on TV.
Yeah, with the cards and situations that came out, both him and Keitel
raises to 35,000.
could be in a lot better spots than they are. They're not out, but could be. Scott's made this 35. His raising frequency hasn't been exactly off the charts, but at the same time he's won when he has raised, and this one is going to go different. And this pretty tricky decision for Fabian. What do you like?
Not fold. Probably shove, maybe call. It depends whether or not he thinks he has any chance of getting green to fold. If he thinks green's gonna fold to shoves here some of the time, he should probably shove. If not, he should probably call and stick it in on all but the worst flops.
And that's the best flop, basically. I think green. Wow, green found a check there. 9, live card. Well, green might have found a way not to go broke here.
Yeah, it's looking that way.
30,000 is the bet.
Pretty amazing when you think about it. That could be the check on the flop that kept Scott Green in the Premier League. Still got 100K. Looks like he's thinking about a call here, that he's got 10 outs. If he's got the 10 outs, is it a call?
Well, it'll depend on how things will play out on the river. If he has 10 outs and gets to put the rest of the chips in when he improves, yes. But, you know, if it's hard for him to be A, confident that they're all live, and B, confident that he'll get any money on the river when he hits.
Yeah.
More Heat 2 action after the break. Welcome back to Premier League Poker, one of our qualifiers. Going to have a chance to be in the main draw of the Premier League proper. Come on, Fabian. Why not?
That's a pair. Probably should.
Mr. Sandman.
Now it's coming something new.
Okay.
Cool. That is the first time we've heard the word call since we started this.
That's new.
We've had, no,
You're not crazy about this one, are you, Isaac?
There was, there was an open call, but I think it was a mistake.
I kind of like a
It was
shove.
a mistake.
Or
I'm pretty sure it was a mistake.
I mean,
to keep with the dynamic thus far, raised to half your stack.
And the problem being, unless Fabian is one of the greatest actors of the century, it wasn't a massive show of strength, was it? I mean,
Probably not.
I mean,
Well,
a bit
Rizzo
surprised that.
didn't shove the ace jack, so he's a believer.
Wow, but pretty surprising, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Very surprising.
I check.
Check.
25.
25,000 is the bet.
I'm all in.
All in.
Interesting.
Fold.
Show your bluff.
Rizzo did manage to get a little extra out of it, but
Yeah, pretty
then
much.
again, there's other ways.
You see, if I call, I would have done like queen.
You had a queen?
Queen had a queen.
He's got the hoodie up. Phil Laak, of course, in the main draw of the Premier
No
League,
raise,
and
no
Giovanni,
raise.
a believer.
I know, I'm a tricky player, right? Yeah, you told me before.
So it's one too many. It's one too many. Yeah.
715.
Thanks.
Fold. Fold.
Chance to play in a $1.5 million prize pool split up among only 12 players. That's what these guys have either in the back of their mind, the front of their forehead,
Fold.
or deep in their gut.
All in.
All in.
This is what it's come down to for Miguel.
Yeah, with only 3 big blinds.
Fold.
And Gary Toe ain't got many more.
46 total.
It's getting over 2 to 1 here. Is it
46,000 total.
Having trouble finding a reason to fold. Six points from the first match for Gary. Was in 4th. Miguel from 5th. Is this the guy he needs to knock out?
$46 total, right?
46 total.
He's calling. He is calling.
Yep.
And it's not that far behind. In fact, you'd take either hand if you could have the 48,000 that Gary has in his stack still with the pot this size. It's Miguel Proulx needing the ace to hold.
Good luck.
Big all in for Proux's career tournament here. If he gets knocked out, he is out of the Premier League.
Yeah. Yeah, his 6 points will not be good enough.
Good start.
This, though, could be his road to redemption. Anything but the queen or 9 at this stage.
Nice safe turn for
I like
Proulx.
that turn. I've got a pair.
Doesn't change anything.
I know.
Well, helps a bit.
6 outs.
That's
Safely
And the ace
navigated.
deuce will
Yeah.
hold.
4 or 5 of spades.
Shut up.
Gary, our new last place, down to 48,000 and
Nice.
about to post 7 of it in the small blind.
I swear.
Yeah, poor Gary Toe feels like he made the right move at the wrong time right now, Isaac.
Yeah. I think it was clearly the right call. Just didn't work out. Dealing with 3 big blind stacks. Gonna have to gamble at some point.
Fabian Pongratz on top, and just wonder, is he the man?
Very well might be.
He is the tallest of all the qualifiers by some good margin, Fabian Pongratz, I believe.
Is that counting the hair?
3 inches taller with the hairdo. I think he's probably got a good 3-4 inches on Phil Hellmuth even. About 3 feet taller than Luke Schwartz. In fact, Luke Schwartz could stand on Daniel Negreanu's shoulders and they wouldn't even reach his nose.
All in.
But it would be really fun to watch.
It certainly would be. It'd be a great pickup basketball game, wouldn't it? Luke Schwartz on Daniel Negreanu's shoulders versus Fabian.
600 with that structure.
And Green with the all-in shove. Believe me, his heart is thumping right now. And yet, this is just what you got to do.
Yeah, of course.
I'm not complaining about.
Though particularly precarious for Green being his standing in third. Well, now he had 10,000 in the big blind.
He was in the small blind.
Sorry, it's 10,000 in the small blind.
Oh, they're up to 10 and 20 now?
Yeah, yeah, blinds 10 and 20. So it was percentage of his stack. What it ends up being right here, though, is trouble. Toe needs to grab 5 or the 6.
Yeah, 4 is this way. 4 is a good card.
9 or an ace. Well, really, anything 9 or above is going to end it.
Yeah, he's getting over 2 to 1 to make that call. That'll end it.
And Gary Toe is going to be out in 7th.
I hope to see you at 4 per.
8 points. That's not going to do it.
No, he's done.
Glory is catching up with Mike Sexton on a break.
Hello everyone, this is Glory Balding and I'm joined by Poker Hall of Famer Mike Sexton. You have had a very distinguished career. How excited are you to finally be playing the Premier League?
Actually, I'm very excited about it. These are some of the premier players in the world, to say no doubt about that, and to have an opportunity to sit down and play with them for this kind of big time money, it's very exciting for me. And even though I'm an old-time school guy that has been around a long time, you know, this still gets the blood circulating quite a bit when you get to play against competition like this, and it's exciting.
Now, speaking of having been around for a long time, you have had a very distinguished career. Why did you finally choose to play the Premier League 4?
Well, because it's an opportunity that I haven't had previously. I've been traveling with the World Poker Tour before. I couldn't have played in 1 or 2 of the other events, and so opportunity knocks this time. I'm here, I'm ready, I'm excited. I'm gonna take it down.
Well, thank you so much, Mike. Stay tuned all this week for more from Mike Sexton here at the Premier League.
Well, the Swiss there, Fabian Pongratz, more than twice as many chips as his nearest competitor, as he only got 3 points from the first heat. He'll want to convert this chip lead to a win.
Fold.
Sorry. I'm all in.
So here's Giovanni now shoving. Wellenbach's considering this. On the other hand, a lot of reasons for him to fold.
Call.
Call.
Wow, he has called.
With.
And it's going to be
much to the dismay of everyone else at the table. Yet another pot that's going to get split quite a bit of the time.
But should Wellenbach get knocked out here, he's going to end up with 14 points, which might not be enough for the top 4. This is this could be a really interesting turn of events.
Yeah.
There's a 3. That was good news for the Halifaxian.
All right, there's still diamonds and 6s in the deck, right? Is that what you say?
I folded 2 6s.
Yeah. I folded it. Come on. Yep,
Oh,
that's all right. That's all right.
Uh-oh.
But one more. One more. I'll take the 6 too.
6 or a diamond?
Yeah, one more.
Won't do it. Giovanni's left with 1 big blind.
There's 2 in the next round.
With the current league leader set to go out.
Yeah, I think
that'll really open up the point standings and shake up the mix for the final table. Pressure now for Rizzo.
We will find out anyways.
It is an official chip in a chair here for Giovanni Rizzo. He's got 20,000 in and 1,000 back.
You don't have full equity.
And you could imagine a situation in poker.
All in.
You probably create one where it's right to fold for the one.
How much?
Push it in, please.
He called? Good call. Wait. I could be folding. I need 4 points for top two.
Yeah, I
0, 2, 3, 4 is the structure, right?
11, 16.
If he gets 4 points here, he'll have 20 total.
The points, because I mean, I got 16 from the first game. I might even fold.
Think it'll guarantee him top two?
Well, it guarantees him top two.
You went out 6 in the last one, right?
This fold gets him into 5th place for 4 points. Yeah, it does guarantee him top two to have 20 points.
I fold.
That's what he decided, and then perhaps a clear fold.
Well,
good play.
But a good call. You have ace high something.
Yeah.
Now he's funking for proulx here.
With any two.
No,
Yeah.
not on any two, but
Yeah, he needs proulx to win this.
I cannot see. Shoot. That's a queen would be nice.
A 6.
That doesn't help.
Keitel down to his last card. And if he is knocked out here, he is definitely out of the Premier League. Oh, so close.
That was me, by the way.
Yeah.
Out in 6th, 5 points, and everybody's going to move up a spot.
And I believe that Giovanni, left with 1,000 in chips here, has just secured himself a seat at the final table.
It might matter.
We're looking at the leaderboard now. Giovanni Rizzo down to 1 chip. I think the answer is that Giovanni Rizzo will always be in the top 2 unless Wellenbach gets exactly 2nd.
Yes.
More poker after the break. Welcome back to Premier League Poker. Well, Rizzo pretty much knows the story. 1 chip. He's going to have to be a miracle man several times over.
All in. Seat.
Wow, that's
Turn 'em up, gentlemen.
No, this is juicy. No laughing. This is juicy stuff. Come on. Yeah, easy. This one's easy. Almost. Yeah.
Nice.
It's there.
Oh, and he's hit the flop.
I've been 30,000.
That's okay.
28.
Oh!
3,000 points.
Well, he's out, but a big smile because he knows very difficult for 2 players to pass his points.
We're going to have a dead button, gentlemen.
Gloria's caught up with a man making his Premier League debut.
Hello, everyone. This is Gloria Balding, and I'm joined by Phil the Unabomber Laak. This is your first time in the Premier League.
Oh my God, I cannot tell you how stoked I am. The endorphins are rushing perfectly. I have the perfect high, you know? I just hope the high lasts all the way. If I could win this thing, my God, I can't even tell you.
No way! Come on, oh my Lord, this is so sick.
Oh my God! Oh my God! This is it. This is the most money I've ever put down on an event. This is the toughest field I've ever put against. I mean, the combined tournament earned, not including myself, and I don't even know about the 2 people of the 10 invite guys. It's like 45.6 million in money won from those fellas. The notable 2, of course, Negreanu and Helmuth, who are 2 and 4 on the all-time money earned list from the history of man onward.
I don't know, I'm nervous. You guys are the geniuses. I'm just here, you know. I just feel like I'm getting owned somehow by him. You know? Don't hurt me, please don't hurt me.
I mean, I'm like, wow. I just hope I can do something respectable here because this is a great honor.
Invite the guy that takes you out.
Well, thank you so much, Phil. Good luck, and we look forward to seeing a lot of you this week.
Thank you so much. I'm so stoked. It's incredible.
I don't think I qualified
Time
for 11.
for a look back from last season.
That's when you know you've made it.
And a classic Tom Dwan hand.
Raise 10,000 total.
And is it time for Tom? He looked like he'd kind of just settled down a little bit. It's time for him to sort of pick up the pace a little bit. I mean,
Not too good at life.
or is it always a good time for him to pick up the pace?
Seems like it. He just hasn't been getting any hands, and people has been opening, you know, in front of him. So he hasn't really had too many opportunities to open the pot.
See, JC's been peeling off a lot of flops, like from the big blind. Is this trappy, or is he just?
No,
you know,
it can't be trappy.
He doesn't.
I mean,
Just didn't want to shove. I mean,
how can you trap with ace high? Are you gonna just check all down when it flop a 7 high?
Card won't come up. Look.
You know,
so he just decided not to shove because he couldn't get called by a hand that.
No, I think he has too many chips to shove.
Okay.
And if he re-raises it and gets shoved down, he doesn't know what to do. So, you know, calling is really his only option here.
I mean, Tom made a pretty clever check on the flop there, didn't he?
Yeah, for sure.
14,000.
And now it's pretty easy for him to represent a jack, because, you know, he would have checked behind with a jack on the flop a lot.
Maybe not this time.
Doesn't look it that JC has an ace this time.
What options is JC considering here? What would you do?
Oh, he can only call. He can only call.
And call and then read that on the river. I mean,
Oh,
what if
he's
Juan
not
goes all
folding.
in on the river again?
Oh, he's definitely calling now. I don't think he would have folded, regardless.
Is there anything in Tom's mind now that he can get JC off of that he would have called the turn with?
I really don't think he can get a JC off anything here. Not anything the way JC played the hand. Yeah.
And his chips have slipped a little bit.
No, I actually don't mind his play there, because he would have sticked his chips in with a jack, and it is, you know, he's betting twice the pot here, so JC isn't getting that good of a price, and he needs to be right a high percentage of the time. I just don't think that Juan is gonna like overshove the river with an ace here.
He passed!
Oh my god. Wow.
You can bluff me.
Wow. That was a really good read by Tom there, if he thought he could get JC off an ace.
That was a sick bluff. That was a
just
sick
amazing.
bluff.
Wow. Ay, ay, ay. I don't even know what to say. I can't believe he folded.
All in. It's brutal. I wish there was like not an all-in option on the river.
Mistake on my part.
Wellenbach's played a good game. He knows he's gonna have to get these chips in. Anything, right? Anything reasonable, he has to go, expecting to have no fold equity.
6, 7.
Good
There
enough.
it goes.
I call.
Cool.
And for Scott,
And a
Just
fold.
throws it away.
You're ahead.
Turn them up, gentlemen.
I think it would have been right for Scott Green, that is, to take a flop there for 40 and only go with it if he makes a pair, maybe.
Absolutely, because I think Scott benefits the most from Wellenbach going out, a lot more than Fabian.
Not so good.
But as it turns out, Wellenbach all in and in trouble here. This is big trouble for him.
Flush draw hurts his chances, too.
Yeah, it's got to be red, 8 or 9. Or a 3. And for Wellenbach, he will be the most interested observer from the sidelines.
He'll go out with a total of 17 points.
I didn't play as well as I think I could have, because I was conflicted between doing what I felt was right and what was, you know, good poker. I'm a cash game player, so what would have made sense in, you know, my normal games versus gaining points in the structure. And I would sometimes zig and then zag even in the same hand, rather than, you know, deciding which way I wanted to play and then doing it.
8, 11, 16.
It's very interesting because Scott Green, I think, is now guaranteed a top 4 spot.
Yeah, I believe
But
he
Scott
is.
Wellenbach isn't.
All in.
All in.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if Scott Green gets 3rd,
then he has 16 points.
And only
no, Scott Green is not top 4 with 16 points then.
He is, because only one of those guys can get more than him.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, Scott Green is top 4 with 16 points.
And it's tough thinking about all this in the hand as well, but Pongratz has gone all in, called by Scott Green. And this is massive for Pongratz. It's green all in, but he's going to be guaranteed the top 4 spot either way. He has to win to get the free ride. For Pongratz, this is his chance. These are the chips he wants. Look at Fabian. He knows it. He's got the 10. Anything but a 9, a jack, an ace. He's going to be Golden City. Oh. Oh. Oh, that was a Swiss steak in the heart. And for Pongratz, he's going to have to fight off a short stack. Green knows he's still got work to do. Oh, he takes it hard. Well, that was really bad news for Wellenbach, is what it was.
Yeah.
See, Wellenbach does not want Scott Green to get second.
Yeah. Yeah,
that's
that's exactly right. If Scott Green gets second, that is bad news for Wellenbach.
You can imagine how much pressure there is on these 3 gentlemen. The chance not only to play with Poker's Elite, but to be in the midst of a $1.5 million prize pool. Got to keep the strategy, the points, all in your mind at the same time.
I think Green's probably going to call him here.
Not that much different than third right now for Scott Green, from what I can see, because Rizzo already has 20, and that's the decision.
Yeah.
It's got to be a win for Scott Green. He's already in the top 4.
But he needs to win to make the top 2.
That's correct. And you know what? Fabian Pongratz will feel like that's justice right now. If the 6 doesn't show, that's 584,000 in this pot. This is a big one.
That was close.
6 spots.
And Green out in third. A total of 16 points. And he'll leave the table happy to be advancing to the heads-up match, I believe.
And a guarantee now for Scott Wellenbach that he'll be in the other heads-up match. They'll be facing each other. That's going to be a tough match, Wellenbach versus Green.
Yes, it will.
That leaves them down to 2.
Third for both of the heats for the online qualifiers. Scott, you've just gone out. Talk to me about where that puts you in terms of points.
Oh, well, it gives me 16 points, and I guess the outcome of this heads-up battle here will determine if I'm going to be going on and playing heads-up tomorrow. So I'm pretty happy with my performance. I've been consistently third place every time, and my final hand where I got eliminated, I had pocket 6s against ace-jack, so anytime I was shoving with that, and 3-handed, I figured that was good, and he ended up getting an ace and knocking me out, so that's how it goes.
Over in the poker room, the party pros are heads up, and Bichelle beats Sexton in the second heat, leaving the point table looking something like this. Felipe Ramos continues to lead with 27 points. Bichelle's win puts him in good stead. Mike Sexton's moved off the bottom, and the new joint trailers, Galich and Zbrezhny, need points in their last match.
After a difficult start in the first matchup for the pros here, now we've got a second place finish, Mike. That puts you right back in it. Is that what you were playing for, obviously?
Well, I would have liked to have won it, obviously, but just didn't happen. You know, the French guy held over me playing heads up, but, you know, I flopped top pair, and he had 2 jacks and over pair, so he won it, but I'm happy with the second place finish, actually, because I'm right back in the thick of things, like you said.
Shakerchi and Safina heads up for Group 1. They'll both be at the final table, but Shakerchi's win is going to give him a big chip advantage for the final. Looking at the final standings, it is those 2 going through. Remember, points converting to chips on the final. Shakerchi will have nearly twice as many as anybody else. Rickett and Fantini will play for that last final table spot. Fantini beating out Kai Schuyler by virtue of his higher placed finish. But for the bottom 4, their Premier League dreams have ended.
Congratulations to Tellel, who's just won the second heat here in the poker room for the online qualifiers. You must be feeling brilliant.
Yes, I'm very, very happy.
And in terms of your play overall today, how do you feel about it? Are you happy with it?
Yes, on the whole. There were a couple of hands where I thought I played it wrong with retrospect, but otherwise I was happy with it.
And in terms of the point system, looking at how that was creating different strategies and different people, did you see some of that at the table?
Yes, definitely, especially in the second table. The first table, I don't think it made so much difference, but the second table, because players came in with different levels of points, that made a difference to the way they played compared to how they did on the first table. So you couldn't always carry across information that you picked up on the first table.
Well, it's a relief for you now. You're going through to the next stage, and that's awesome. So good luck in the next game.
Thank you, Kara.
Waiting to find out which of these two players is going to the final table and which is exiting Premier League Poker 4.
Check.
This has become a real battle. This has become a real grudge match. This has become
check.
It's become
And
a cooler.
Two pair against an open-ended straight draw and 2 overcards, and no money goes in. Now,
check.
Proulx's top pair. Somebody gonna bet?
40,000.
All in.
All in. 6-6.
Call.
Call. Turn them up, gentlemen. All in and a call.
He's got less outs than he thought he had and more than Pongratz thought he had.
He's got a lot. He wins on a 9, an 8, a 6, a 5, 10.
That's one of them.
That's one.
That's the end.
Great.
It is all over. Proulx has won.
Fabian Pongratz left it all out there. He showed a lot of courage coming into the second match, needing to win, and so close to the edge. But Miguel threw that big smile. He's going to the final table. Rizzo's 20 points did hold up. He and Proulx are through. Canadians Wellenbach and Green will battle out in the heads up. For Fabian Pongratz, the Swiss missed. Second place not enough to keep him in the top 4, but now the heads-up matches hit the table. I'm honored to be joined this evening by a true Premier League poker star, Tony G. Now, Tony, these players, they're getting close, these qualifiers. One of them's going to play in the Premier League, $100,000 shot. How excited should they be for this opportunity?
Well, they're very lucky to be in that position. I just spoke to the boys there that are going to play. I told them not to be nervous and be ready to die. You got to be prepared to take the sword in your heart here. You got to really go for it, not be afraid, and just go bang and win it.
So on the way to the final table now, we got the 2 heads-up matches. The winners are going to go to that final table. You had to get to the final table via the heads-up route once in the Premier League. What should they keep in mind?
You just got to stay focused, not make any mistakes. I've done it before. They can do it for sure. If whatever I've done, anyone can do it. So it's easy. It's not difficult, but you got to keep it simple, keep focused, and just go for it.
The final table awaits and a chance to play Tony G. The heads-up matches from the M Resort after the break.
"16 online players made it through fields of thousands to get to Las Vegas, but only one can win a seat in the Premier League. Tonight, the heads-up stages commence as we fill those last 2 places in our qualifying final. In our first heads-up match, Brit Paul Rickett takes on Italian Marco Fantini.
It's just such a big opportunity. Someone's gonna go to the Premier League. It's just amazing.
It's a great experience, and I really want to win this match.
And from the second group, 2 Canadians, Scott Wellenbach and Scott Green, take to the table.
To play against players like Phil Hellmuth, Daniel Negreanu, JC Tran would be a super dream. I probably wouldn't believe that I was actually awake.
Just to be able to have the opportunity to sit there, I think is priceless. It's just, something that you'll just carry for me forever.
Plus, over in the poker room at the M, 6 Party Poker Team Pros are battling it out for a spot in the main event. They play the last of their league matches to accumulate chips for their final table, where the winner will earn a spot in the Premier League 12.
Off we go, this best of 3 match for that seat on the final table. And Tony, now in Premier League Poker 2, I believe it was, you had to come through almost an identical format to get to the final table against Vicky Corin. What do you have to keep in mind in best of 3?
Well, you got to keep focused, and you got to take your chances. You can't play safe poker where you want to get it in with the best hand. You've got to put pressure. You got to steal, and also you got to get lucky. Oh, that's not a bad card for the 5-4, but he's got to have a crack with this. This will just take it.
He's gonna have to be ready to bet it twice if he misses too, isn't he?
Yeah.
I mean, now that Fantini's checked the flop, a lot of people call here on the turn, right?
Yep. That's the correct call. He's bet too little. He's bet 4,000 into 8,000. He just had to bet much more.
Fantini's watched him the whole way. He's had a good eye on him. Now they've played 2 matches together, so if there's been any chance to get a read on Rickett, he might have it already.
This is a basic call for the top players. And he makes it.
Good call.
Showdown.
I
Wow.
haven't got anything.
You impressed?
Yeah, he's obviously got some talent, this kid, and yeah, it's once that board pairs with that card, it's an automatic call. Nice looking Ralph Perry hand.
And Rickett could easily return the favor.
Could easily raise this, but I'm not sure. Yeah, he will be. He's doing a very small raise.
If he does, what should Fantini be thinking about? Good hand to take a flop off with?
Oh,
or
yeah, he will take the flop, I'm pretty sure. Depends what the raise is, I guess. Now it's just doubled it, so this might be a serious raise.
Yeah, he's counting out a lot here.
Re-raise.
That looks like about 15 more. Excuse me,
This
18.
is a huge raise.
Feel like if he hits his pair, he can maybe get
All
the
in.
whole stack.
All
All
wow,
in!
what a move. That's a brilliant move.
Regardless of what happens.
Regardless of what happens. And now Paul's put so much money in this.
It's a good hand, heads up, call.
This is, oh wow, great call.
Showdown, please.
And I know you love this because Marco's shown the heart and commitment to stick the money in.
Yeah, I didn't expect Paul to call.
Perhaps ace-10 was about the worst hand he would have called with. Maybe ace-9, ace-8, he lays it down.
Yeah, I mean, it's still a very marginal hand to call with. You know, he's got to, you can only beat a move. You can't beat a legitimate hand there. He's pretty safe on the flop. There's still a lot of danger out there.
It's Rickett all in, but leading. Fantini, jack or king?
He's got to get a jack or a king. The Ralph Perry hand is very unlucky.
You don't like people when they call all in with it, but you don't mind if they raise.
Yeah, I don't mind if they raise, and but usually, you know, it's a bad hand. It deserves the treatment it's going to get right now.
Yeah.
And they're going to count this down. Fantini is going to be down to a very short stack, only about 25K or so.
Yeah, and a very aggressive move, but he didn't calculate that Paul put too much money into that pot. It would have been such a disastrous mistake for him to fold. It was just too much money, and if the re-raise had been smaller, it could have worked.
How much you got left, Mark?
Marco's moving in with a lot of hands, isn't
Oh,
he?
yeah, that's right. I mean, or even just, he should have moved in the first hand himself. Like, he should be just moving in now.
Yeah, and if Paul calls here, looks like he's gonna make a little raise, but
Raise.
All in.
Call.
oh, good spot for Fantini.
That's a great spot.
King 9.
Good hand.
Yeah, he could be back.
Oh, he certainly will be. I mean, he's gonna have 60,000 plus
Yep.
if the king 9 holds.
Big chance.
He's not sure if he likes it or not.
No, it's not a bad flop. Doesn't change anything.
Don't want a jack now.
Doesn't want the 8. And that's actually, the jack's made Fantini straight.
Yeah.
Or a queen.
Needs a jack or a queen.
Good hand.
Oh, thank you, sir.
Nice double up for the
Oh,
Italian,
six.
Tony. He
36.
took a knocking and just came right back shoving.
Yeah, he just
No.
took every pot since he Since he lost the big one, he's just aggressive, and you know, Paul laid down a few hands. He might have been able to push him out.
Sure.
Back to square one. That's how Marco Fantini must feel, although he does trail by about 10,000. And it's a big hand. I wonder if Fantini is prepared to stick his whole stack in.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's going to see a flop. Wow. This is a very important pot.
There's already 24,000 in there. I mean, if you're Marco, if you miss the flop, do you have to bet it anyway? Oh,
They
he
both
said
hit it.
Yeah, they sure have. You see the chips going in?
I don't know. Yeah, well, Fantini's chips are going in. Paul's got to be good enough to get out of it, but I don't think he can. He might be moving all in.
16,000.
What would you do here with Paul's hand? Would you move all in? Would you call?
I wouldn't want to call. I'd move all in just in case he has like an ace.
Right.
You just have to move all in. There's not much to think about. Once you've seen a flop, you're just unlucky.
And a call.
I don't know where the call's going.
Well, it's interesting because he may be hoping that Fantini checks the turn, but I wonder what happens if Fantini bets the turn. Does he go farther?
Now he's got a straight draw.
Check.
Check. Check.
Yeah, that's pretty.
It's a tricky check.
Now Fantini won't like it.
20,000.
That's a heck of a bet for value there.
Yeah, he had to bet on a turn.
He's trying to get paid off on the river. I mean, is this an easy fold for Paul, or?
Yeah, I think it's pretty easy, but the pot's so large that he might call this. Fantini made a mistake on a turn. Just couldn't check it. You can't trap check with that turn. Just had to move all in on a turn. He would have had a call.
Yeah, it could have all been over right now, perhaps.
And these like few little mistakes, they add up, and eventually they can cost you. But at the moment, Marco's flying.
From 22,000 to chip leader, Fantini. And he's winning them all ways. He's won over 60% of the pots.
It's the way you can win.
And surely Fantini will take on Rickett's hand with the ace. Uh-oh.
And two queens. Wow. Doesn't have to think here, just move in.
All in.
All in.
Yeah, and Fantini will
Match
take
is
this.
like 60, 65. Alright, I call.
And a call.
Doesn't matter.
Queens.
Queens?
His eyebrows up. Well, he's still got a chance,
Yeah,
Fantini.
he's got a chance. It's like a free roll
I
to
need
win.
something.
But for Rickett, the somersault switch around, he'll go chip leader in this first heat of three, best of three, unless.
Oh.
It's all over now.
Jeez, I can't even think of a way Fantini can win.
Can't win. 3%. 3-5 has got to hit now.
This is good.
Something.
King?
A king.
Surely not.
This is not good.
Queen full of deuces.
And Rickett, he's slow, he's steady, but he knows when to get his chips in. Back, I think, favorite.
Right about that.
All in.
All in.
Call.
And a call.
Oh!
There you go.
That's what happened to
He's
him.
run into a good hand.
That's what happened. And Rickett's going to take it.
Paul got her in good. The Italian's alive here. He needs to get lucky. A date with an 8. Is it coming? Still. I can still feel the 8. It's going to be hard. No, it's
9s
bike.
and 5s with an ace kicker.
This looks like bike time.
Rickett's taking it. First match is over in this best of three for a seat at the final table, and it's Paul Rickett who's taken the first leg to lead 1-0. Over in the poker room, last chance for the party pros to gain points before the final table. Remy Bichel all in against Ian Fraser here and trailing, needing paint, or he's going to be out in fourth in this third heat, and he is. That's great news for Bodo, who desperately needs points. England have scored first. They're now leading 1-0. And the Italians better get their defense going, Tony, because if England scores again, they're done.
Yep. There's a nice hand to start with.
What do you think's got the steadiest style in the Premier League? Someone like maybe Phil Laak or someone like that, or
Yeah, JC Tran.
JC
maybe.
Tran, yeah.
Check.
And
Paul's got a bet, but you might check.
he's had a good long look at it.
That's
You don't expect
6,000.
Fantini to fold here, do you?
No.
But call or raise.
Cool.
Yep. This is where Paul needs to get lucky and hit a king or something. There it is. That's incredible. He just checked right behind that.
Check.
And
It's going to make a good bet here.
he's at this stage. He's thinking it's pretty likely Marco has a jack. So how much does he want to bet to get paid off?
That's a small bet.
That's 10,000.
This will be a very good fold if Marco can fold this. Paul has not had one bluff so far.
Very big decision for Marco, because you call here and lose, all of a sudden
Cool.
you got trouble.
Bad call.
King is good.
Paul might have thought he's bluffing. Who knows what happened. But
That's going to be significant. All of a sudden, Fantini not only 1-0 down, but fighting for behind, and he's hung his head.
he's hung, he's gone.
he's
Someone pulled the earplugs. This is not over.
his body language does not look good, Tony.
He thinks he's the most unlucky poker player to ever walk at the M Casino and Resort.
You can't be unlucky just by being here at the end of this beautiful place. I mean,
No, it's just wonderful. I mean, but someone should bring him a respirator. There's Ralph Perry's hand again.
it's like, oh no! This is the exact situation that he got knocked out with before.
Paul's got a raise. He's gonna raise. He's counting it out. The slow action.
This could be it.
This could be bang bang.
Can we raise?
And Fantini made the 4 bet the last time he had this hand.
14,000.
Does he like the Ralph Perry hand? He's gonna call this time. He's gonna call.
Wow.
This is not bad. This is the right play for him.
Yeah.
This is the right play, because
Yeah.
if Paul misses, he's not gonna fire.
And if Fantini hits, he can get the whole
Oh, he's hit it. Now he's got to have a small bet here.
Oh boy. Oh, he's going to hang him out to dry here, isn't he?
This could be over. King or jack, it's bike.
He's
Bike,
going to
get the
hang
trike
him
out.
out to dry.
Check.
Keeping it friendly.
Marco's going to fall for this, Tony. How could he not fall for it?
He's drawing dead as a doornail here.
Oh, no.
And Paul can just call. If he calls,
16,000.
you can't raise.
There's a couple flush draws out there.
Now, when he picks his chips up, it's over. Oh, no. It's too much.
Marco's going to
No
fold.
one's thinking here.
So you think he should call here and then just be ready to get the chips in no matter what happens on the river?
Yeah, because if you raise, I mean, you're only going to get called now if you beat somehow.
To 50,000.
He's got a very, very strong hand.
Like that.
Wow, Marco knows exactly what he has. But you know what?
Yeah.
To 50,000.
It doesn't matter.
Good beat.
Paul Rickett. So close now to closing this door, slamming it, Tony.
Yeah.
Okay.
Things are going his way.
Can you just not do it in 2 motions? Just say the amount that you would like to raise?
Sorry.
Well, the good news is that Marco avoided a king or a jack on the turn, because if that had have hit, that would have been the end.
He's got a very good chance, Paul Rickett. Southampton going to the final table. All he has to do is grab 50,000 more chips from the Italian.
Yeah, well, you know, all the chips that he's won have been, he's actually had to hit. He hasn't stolen anything.
Absolutely.
He hasn't outplayed anyone. Oh, wow. Ace king
It's
again.
unfair. It's unfair.
This is ridiculous. But this is the beauty of poker. Everyone has a chance.
Oh gosh.
And a qual.
Wow.
Big hands.
Big slick.
This is sick.
Nothing has gone right for Marco when the cards have gone on their back, Tony.
But all can change. All you need to do is find a Joey. Is there a jack in the deck? Can a jack pop out? It's not there. He's still got it. He can still hit it. Just got to believe it. It could come.
That's all there is. That is all there is.
He needs a Joey here.
Or it's over. King plays, it's the Brit.
It's all over. Unlucky, son. On your bike, trim up and you'll be all right.
Paul Rickett took 2 legs on the trot to secure his place at the final table. Seeing off Marco Fantini.
Any plans for the final? I know you've played with some of these guys before, some you won't have.
Well, I'm going to be short stacked compared to the other people at the table, so I think I've just got to really gamble. I played pretty tight in the first heat, so there's no reason to play as tight as that this time around. It's because there's nothing to lose. It's when it's it goal, so got to go for it. Just gamble.
Well, congratulations on going through, and good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Back at the Party Poker Pros heat. Ian Fraser all in against Felipe Ramos, trailing and now out. But third place will be some nice points for Fraser for the final, while Ramos and Bodo duke it out.
It was prolonging the agony.
Join us after the break for our second heads-up match between the 2 Canadians making bacon. Welcome back. Second heads-up match between Wellenbach and Green. This, the most important poker match of their lives. And the only thing for sure is that the winner is going to be a Canadian named Scott. Tony, what did we learn from the first match these guys have got to do?
Well, we've learned that Queen's a nice hand and Ace King's a good hand, and they have to hold up.
There's only so much you can do. If the other guy's going to get the better cards, I mean, you're powerless.
Oh, you're powerless in those situations.
All right, if you really want to.
And right away, Wellenbach being a little more aggressive.
Yeah, they seem to be friendly. Okay, if you really want to, and they're just having a bit of fun.
Too many.
Just like a fun game, just a home game. There you go. 6 or 7, doesn't matter. There's 12 grand in there.
If the ace pops, I could just ship them all in.
I don't know, will they? That's an interesting flop. Bit for everyone.
And now that Wellenbach's raised pre-flop, he's got to continue here, right? I mean,
yeah, it's got to continue. And I think you got a call here with the ace-6.
I mean, if Scott Green, he's probably thinking it's pretty unlikely that this flop has hit Wellenbach, right? I mean,
yeah. I mean, this is a good situation to make a move here. Big move.
Certainly. He must be thinking about it because it doesn't look like he's thinking about folding.
Who knows what these guys think, but he's calling. There you go. I guess calling and you try to hit a 5.
Scott Green got through to this heads up by virtue of 2 third places in the qualifying rounds. Played very well.
Yeah, that sounds good. A date with an 8 doesn't help anyone. Now you just got to keep firing here.
Keep it up.
You got to fire.
Keep up the pressure. If he checks, he could be done.
He could be done. It's like checking out of a hotel if he checks.
Just give you the bill.
There it goes. It's a first hand.
16.
There you go. That's a good strong bet.
I mean, that is strong, isn't it? And if green is going to fire this one and fire on the river, I mean, Wellenbach can't call off his stack.
He's called quickly.
Oh, my.
Wow.
They're here to play, Tony.
They're playing a huge pot.
Now, if you're Scott Green right now, are you saying to yourself, I can't let this thing go. If I miss on the river, I can't let it go.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard because he called so fast that I'm really worried now. If I'm Scott Green, I am worried. And that's nothing. That's a great card for Wellenbach. Great defensive check call.
Oh, Scott's trying to make this could be the biggest decision of his life.
It's gone 25. That's very weak, though. That's a weak bet.
Fold.
Wow!
It was so weak it looked strong. It looked like a monster.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. 60,000 in there. He's bet 25, and Wellenbach didn't even consider it.
Scott Green's got heart, though.
He's got heart and commitment. Go, boy. He's not a boy, but he's a boy compared to the other guy.
Wellenbach told me he's been playing, I think, about 20 years, so he's got a lot of experience. Either of these players could be dangerous at the final table, but they're not going to be fast.
8.
Yeah.
8,000.
Relative danger. Oh, we could get some fireworks here.
Tricky hand to play this King 7.
Call.
Well, now he's called it. He's probably the favorite to win because, well, the King's unlikely to come.
In your mind, Wellenbach hasn't been doing enough betting, and when he's missed, hasn't been.
Yeah, he hasn't done much.
Check. Check.
It's a very quick check. He's just hoping to see a king. Hey, bang! Now, he's gonna. This is unbelievable.
It's
more.
It's come absolutely perfect for.
You could have dropped the bore off the end of that sentence.
That's safe.
Poor Scott Green feels like this looks like a good card. He's about to get stucked.
Was only 4 there?
Yeah, well, Wellenbach's got to raise this, but will he raise or will he just call?
Kind of a tough decision.
Could he be thinking about folding? Just hit the jackpot, and the guy's bet into him.
Seems kind of unsure. He probably thinks the green has a draw. I mean, the king. There's a lot of draws out there.
Yeah, there is. There's a few draws. There's always a lot of draws on the turn.
He's really thinking about this.
Now it's giving green hope that the guy could be folding. Could he make a big laydown? Worrying about his kicker? Or is he just praying here?
All in.
There you go.
Wow.
Raise all in.
That's a big raise.
That's a huge raise.
And this is a really tough decision for Scott Green. I mean, the only thing you can't really beat is a king with a bigger kicker, right? I mean,
yeah, I guess so. I mean,
how weird is it if Wellenbach has a king with him?
That's a big overbet. Because if he had just made it 20 more, then he would have got some action. But now he's given Green a chance to escape from this.
Cripple me. Call.
Are you calling here if you're Scott Green?
Unfortunately, I would be calling most of the time, but it's difficult to say. You got to be there. Just you got to have a feeling, and you know, I've escaped from these situations. Usually, I need a 7 from heaven though to escape.
See Scott Green's brother looking at the ceiling back there. I don't know if he wants him to call or fold. He doesn't know either. He doesn't know.
This is hard to lay down. You got top pair. You've just hit it. It's like hitting a jackpot. Are you going to walk away from the jackpot?
There's not really enough chips there to make these
be folding top pair all the time, is there?
Nah, it's too difficult to fold this.
I mean, if he folds, it'll be psychic.
He'll be a talent.
You think he's just saying to himself that Wellenbach, he hasn't seen him bluff too often? I mean, is that what he's thinking?
Yep, I think so.
Wow.
Great.
It's amazing fold.
That's brilliant. He's played so well.
He's good.
He's very good. Very good.
Scott Wellenbach's had to hit a few cards to stay winner, but he has hit him, and he is winner so far.
Yeah, well, if that card didn't come, I think that green would have won the pot on the river.
He doesn't know yet, but he'll probably find out when he's watching. The lean green machine, Scott Green from Toronto.
He's not that lean yet. But
His chips are getting lean.
yeah.
Raise. 12.
12.
12,000.
Call.
Putting in some big raises. Now it's a nice pot now. 24 in the middle. It takes a bit of guts to win these sort of pots.
It certainly is, and the most fun pots to watch are the ones where they both miss, because it's very tough to win with anything other than guts then.
Yeah, it's easy to win when you hit. Hit and win. Miss and win is hard. Well, they both missed. They both missed badly.
Check.
You like green to win.
Yeah, you expect green to take it down.
It's a dry kind of board. He could check or he could bet.
He's checked it. He's checked it.
Turn always makes things more interesting. That's made things a little more interesting.
Well, he's got the 7, and now Wellenbach's got some draws.
18.
Wow.
18,000.
Now we saw Wellenbach go all in on green when he made this sort of bet. Will green do the same to Scott?
The hand's not strong enough to go all in here because he thinks that, well, maybe the guy tried to check raise me with the 10. He was the raiser. And you can only call. You can't do more than call.
Can only call depending on what comes on the river. Call again.
Yeah, you're gonna call most rivers, even if it's an 8 or a jack. You're gonna have to call. 9 will be a nasty one as well. But green's 77%. You know, he's safe. Safe as a house unless some bad things happen on the river, which they do sometimes.
And what if Wellenbach misses and bets big? What if he blows him out?
And he could, if he moves in. He's got to basically move in to blow him out. He's hit. You can check now.
Are there more reasons to check or bet? That's what he's trying to work out.
He's got to bet something.
Looks like he's really not sure. He's a little bit scared that green might have hit that 10.
25.
Now that's a weird bet, Tony. That's a weird bet.
That's a weird bet.
And call.
He's gotten called, and he's not sure if he's ahead or behind. He's going to show him.
I don't know. Oh, what happened there? Just a brain explosion.
Kind of thinking that it's very hard to get called there if you're
Lucky river.
If you're ahead, right? What's he going to call you with? Doesn't
I
beat
don't
a
know
7?
what he was thinking of. I just think he just had a brain explosion.
Scott v.
You
Scott,
just
and
cannot bet on that river. You just cannot bet. And yeah, he called, and then I don't know. I don't know what's going on.
Scott hopped on pop, and he's got Scott in trouble.
That was a deadly mistake there. He should have been raising the turn and folding the river. It's a nice hand on the button. That always looks good.
He's probably trying.
Raise to 12,000.
Trying to decide what he's going to do with this hand if he gets a re-raise, and Wellenbach might.
Yeah, you just got to play that.
Slam the door.
Oh, you just got to move in.
All in.
There it goes.
Re-raise, all in.
And if Green asks for a count here, the price might be too good, Tony.
Yeah, it's a good price. Let's put so much in.
You still got me beat, but I love my hand.
Yeah. If you love your hand, go with your feeling. Go with your heart.
I'm going to take a chance. Call.
All in a call.
You like that, don't you?
I love it.
You love a guy who loves their hand. And for Green, it actually, I mean, he was getting, look, he's not in bad shape at all.
He's not in bad shape at all. It would have been a mistake to fold.
Now Green needs help.
He's not behind. There hasn't been an ace produced. Needs a 9 or a 10. The odds are slim.
And that's a goal. 1-0.
Bang.
And Scott Green now has his work cut out for him to try and win 2 straight to make the final table.
Nice match.
We'll head out to the pool where Gloria's caught up with a $1 Million Man.
Hello everyone, this is Glory Balding and I'm joined by Yevgeny Timoshenko. Now you are the youngest player here at the Premier League. How excited are you?
I'm very excited. It's an honor to be accepted to this event as the youngest player here.
I'm just so happy with the way I'm playing.
We're happy with the way you're playing too, Phil.
You get the joke? Because he's making fun of you there.
Who else do you think will be gunning for you? You are the youngest player, like we said. Phil Hellmuth, lots of experience. Daniel, lots of experience as well.
I think because everyone here is a pro, I don't think anyone's really going to be gunning for me. They're going to be playing me just as tough as anyone else. I don't think just because I'm the youngest, anyone's going to think that I'm a weak player and that they can sort of pick on me.
Now, is there anyone that you may not necessarily respect at the table?
No, I respect everyone here. Everyone here is very good tournament players, so I think everyone's going to be a tough opponent.
Well, thank you so much, Yevgeny. Will we have the youngest ever Premier League winner? We'll find out.
Leg 2 already in the second level in this Ravello bar.
Green grinding away, and now in a spot where he must smell the fruits of that second leg.
Call. Check.
Is Wellenbach, I don't know, has he missed a chance to try and take this away?
Bit of action here.
Check.
Well, there sure is. See the money going in?
It could happen. And Green's got to bet this. It's no good checking.
10. That is 10,000.
And Wellenbach, I mean, he'll know that the worst he can be is in a pretty good spot.
Yeah, the worst you can do now is call. You just got to move in. He just hasn't got to
Raise
stack.
to 25,000.
It's an interesting play. He's left himself a couple chips back.
He's left himself a lot of chips. What does he do on the turn if he misses? Check and fold?
Call. Call.
This is going to be funny, this part.
This is unusual. I mean, I'm guessing that Green would have called anyway if Wellenbach had gone all in.
Just had to move all in because now it's tricky for Wellenbach. Well, what do you do now?
Yeah, he's made it pretty hard on himself. And this is trouble.
All in. All in.
Yeah, beautiful. He loves that. I don't think he's got to think.
What's he thinking about?
Call.
Yeah.
Call.
He's got it straight.
He must be ahead, but I probably got out.
I mean, we're going to be level.
We're going to be level.
In legs.
We are. Absolutely level.
More than that.
Nice match.
Nice match, my friend.
And Green's even the scores on the doors.
Yeah, he outplayed him.
In the poker room final stage of the final heat for the Party Poker Pros. And Ramos all in, but Felipe will be the chip leader at the final table regardless of this outcome. Huge spot for Bodos Brezhny, however. He takes this, takes the final heat, and vaults himself from last place up into third at the final table. Have a look at the final points. Now, these points will be converted. 1 point worth 10,000 chips at the final table. Ramos is going to have a bunch, closely followed by Remy, Bodo, and Ian Fraser, while Sexton and Dragon Galich will have their work cut out for him. Galich on the short stack, only half of Ramos, and the fist pump, the fist bumped, and these guys will be ready to get that seat in the Premier League. 2 men on the hill. Only one going to the final table for this qualifier, and I'm joined for this rubber match by the man who's made Premier League poker happen, the creator of the concept, Eddie Hearn. Eddie, when you see the qualifiers and how excited they've been for the start of this thing, you know how successful the Premier League is become.
They're on the verge of the final table to win that seat in the Premier League, which for any player is a total dream come true.
Call.
Flop with some promise for both players. Green with the overcard.
I'd like
the
to see
straight draw.
Wellenbach check here, Jesse. He's got such a potentially big hand here.
10.
And you check because, I mean, Wellenbach now that he's made the bet, if he gets raised, he pretty much has to gamble here,
Yeah,
right?
and I think he would. He's got 2 overcards and a nut flush draw. Green's folding, you know, in my opinion, unless he just comes over in a hot fever and decides to make a move on this flop. If he does, he's banging trouble.
Raise 20 more.
He's in big trouble. Big trouble, Eddie, because Wellenbach cannot lay this down.
This is interesting. Wellenbach has to feel he's behind at this point.
All in.
There we go.
Re-raise.
That's the play.
Had to. He really had to, and he knew it. And you know what? That took courage.
It is. And obviously we're seeing a fold here, and this is a huge turning point in this game. You'll give it a little bit of Hollywood, make him think that, you know, maybe he's laying down a 10.
And Wellenbach all of a sudden feeling like he is close to the final table. You know what? It's not luck. He's won this. He's done it. Scott Wellenbach can smell the sweet mountain air and desperate times for Green. Chip on a chair and not much else.
All in.
Well, that's what he's got to do. He knows what he's got to do. I mean, it always is levels on levels, isn't it? And
call.
Whoa! Oh, trouble!
King 5. Wow.
Well, it's only 9 big blinds, and I mean, Wellenbach.
It's the right call, you know, but it's just out of character for the player. I didn't expect him to call off with this hand.
You're alive, definitely.
Great flop.
Huge flop
for Wellenbach. Eddie, I think he's going to the final table.
Green is a 3, a 6, or a 5. That's not a diamond.
It is not looking good.
He's on the hill, Jesse. One time, one card for the seat in the final. He's done it.
King high.
Good match, Scott.
And
really
Eddie,
nice to
these
meet
guys
you.
both played fantastic, but that rubber match, Scott Wellenbach,
Thank
he
you
put
very
on a
much.
clinic.
He deserves it. He deserves it. He was the one who took the more chances. He ground it out. This means the world to him.
Nice to meet you all. Yeah.
I'm here with Scott, who has just won his heads-up battle, now goes to the final to find out if you actually get to play in the Premier League. How excited are you about this?
I am excited, but mostly I'm exhausted at the moment because it's been a very intense 2 days, and there's quite a mixture of elation and excitement and really wanting a nap.
6 players are still in with a chance of becoming the first ever online qualifier to play in the Premier League. Join us next time to find out who's going to join the likes of Phil Hellmuth, Daniel Negreanu, JC Tran, and Luke Schwartz in the toughest poker lineup ever assembled.
Take a deep breath. One time.
Go away, I want to play one hand for Miguel. I'm running the show. No, you go away and sit down and talk to the boss.